Awesome.
Hey guys, it's Dr. J. Thank you for joining me again. And I have a wonderful friend and colleague, Jason Wright, here, who is going to tell us a little bit about fitness for moms. Jason also has a group on Facebook that I'll let him talk about in a little bit, but I'll let him go ahead and introduce himself and we'll get on the way.
Hey, so Jay, thank you so much for having me on. This is a fantastic opportunity that that you would invite me on to speak about this with your audience. And I guess to introduce myself, Dr. Jason Wright. I'm also a physical therapist. Pretty extensive background in the fitness and wellness realm, from having bachelor's and master's degrees in exercise science and exercise physiology before ever going on to pursue the doctorate in PT. So pretty cool mix of things that are really complementary.
Super smart.
No. I use big words sometimes, but no, it's a cool blend that is so interconnected. But for some reason, the two sides or two professions have not found a way to really communicate well, and that's I've followed you, and like I said, we've been friends for a while now, and just huge respect for what you're doing to help close that gap
Thank
and bridge
you
that gap.
so much. Yeah, thank you so much. And so, me being a pelvic health therapist and working with moms and helping them to return to fitness, I love to be able to present moms and people in general with resources, just so that they know that there's help out there. Sometimes I think the biggest drawback is people don't know where to go, who to turn to. And the internet is well known for its ability to put out information vomit,
Mhm.
much of which may or may not be very helpful to people. So for them to be able to have an expert to go to, I think is key. So tell us a little bit about moms and fitness from your perspective, just, the fitness aspect and just how to start. Like, what should they do? What should they be looking at?
Mhm. Yeah. So essentially, I know a lot of you are probably looking at me like, what does this guy know about what we're going through as moms? Right. So no, you're correct. I'm not a female. I do not have kids, but I have been one of those kids to a mom who raised me, raised my brother. I got to see the struggle that she went through of juggling multiple jobs, trying to make sure that we didn't want for anything, and didn't really acknowledge how kind of less off we had it compared to maybe what other people did, because we just knew that it was out of love.
Hmm.
But in the process, she neglected herself. And it's very common for moms. I know you want that kids come before everything mentality. And so here's the hierarchy of needs and people in our lives and things that need our attention and our focus. And we put ourselves, and I'm kind of including myself. I'm sorry to do that. I'm not worthy of the honor of being called a mom, but way down the list, right? So way down. It's an afterthought. Like, I'll get to me after everything else is taken care of.
Right.
And it's not a long-term healthy mindset to have, because if you continually put yourself last, then how do you expect to really put yourself first to the point to where you're going to have success with fitness or a change in your nutrition or your lifestyle?
Hmm. Yeah, and that's so key. And I, as a mom, can attest to that because, it's like, yeah, I'll be fine. Yeah, I got to make sure the
Mm-hmm.
kids have, and you're always looking out for your needs because now you're responsible for a person,
Mm-hmm.
or persons.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, I can figure out me later. Let me just
Mm-hmm.
get them taken care of.
Yeah.
And you talked about fitness, about nutrition, sorry. A lot of moms, they're tired, they haven't slept,
Mm-hmm.
so we are not cooking gourmet meals. It is
Yeah.
not happening.
Yeah.
So what are some key points that you think moms could benefit from with regards to nutrition and just options, so that they know that they're getting just adequate stuff and
Mm-hmm.
fueling their body correctly?
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely. So I want to introduce something that I like to call, because I know it well, the healthy bachelor style of cooking. And I think it coincides well with busy mom schedule cooking. And okay, first of all, don't be afraid of the freezer bags of veggies. Don't be afraid of the crock pot,
Amen
because
to crock pots.
man, that is God's gift to the world right
Yes,
there. Whoever invented that crock pot knew what they were doing, because it's like,
absolutely.
within, I mean, you can essentially kind of just like chop up whatever the night before, like right before you go to bed, take maybe 10 minutes. All right. stash it in the fridge, bag it up. In the morning when you get out, crock pot sitting out there on the counter, throw it in there, grab the meat out that's been thawing or frozen, whatever, throw it in there too, hit start. You don't have to touch it until you come home, and then dinner's ready.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the thing is, things like broccoli, cauliflower, even, green beans, all that kind of stuff, even vegetable medleys. There's things like that. Keep an eye on the package. So check out the sodium content on some of those combined flavored medleys. But ultimately, it's still a better option than hitting the drive-through on the way home, because that's what's quick. That's what's convenient. That's probably what the kids are asking for. And just to keep the peace, just shut up here. I'll give you what you want. But ultimately, long term, like, you carry a lot of guilt because that's not what they need, and that's not what's most healthy for them.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's finding ways to integrate things that they're going to like and that you're going to like in a time frame that's quick and it's easy and it's simple. So I think the crock pot solution is a great kind of like first easy step recommendation. So throw it in there. Dinner's ready when you come home. I mean, you can do soups. You can do so many different things with that. There are healthier alternatives without sacrificing a lot of time that you just don't have.
Mm-hmm. And you mentioned pretty much meal planning.
Mm-hmm.
Just meal prep and meal planning is very helpful. I hide my vegetables. I am an expert at hiding vegetables because my kids ate vegetables really well till they were 2, and then it was the ultimate boycott.
Yep.
No, I don't eat that. No, I don't like that. And I'm like, all right, I'm not going to put you out on garbage day. I've got an alternative, and I would hide vegetables. Like, I've found excellent recipes for, cauliflower pizza crust, gluten-free.
Yep.
It's cauliflower. It's way healthier alternative. Putting, making meatloaf, but taking vegetables, and I'll just, blend them up in the blender and add some vegetables to the meat and season it. They have no clue. So, I mean, making, like pancakes, but I'll dice things like spinach. They have no clue. Cover it with maple syrup. They have no idea.
Yeah.
But they're getting like their nutrients, and you're getting your nutrients too. And a lot of the time, that stuff is really, really super helpful.
Yeah, and tasty little smoothies. They think they're getting a milkshake, but you can sneak in all kinds of spinach and stuff like that and veggies, and you got bananas or blueberries or strawberries. All that stuff is masking the flavor of the veggies anyway, and it's like, this is delicious. Yep. You don't even know, like, there's spinach in here, really?
Yep, and even for moms, because now you've got a very nutrient-packed option versus, like you said, going to the drive-through or, just picking up like some microwavable meal or something like that. Again, really high in sodium and probably not what they need at that point in time. Because, we've so many things going on hormonally, especially immediately after birth. So you really, really need key nutrition to help support your body and all your body's functions. So when moms are getting back to fitness, I know from a pelvic health perspective, there are a lot of things that we look at, making sure that their breathing is they're really breathing properly, making sure that they're posturally aware, because oftentimes they kind of get into the mom posture where their back is kind of arched because the belly is heavy and they're kind of leaning back on the hips, and they tend to get a lot of back pain from that. So we correct the posture, we start looking at breath integration, we start activating that pelvic floor. But once they're truly ready, what are some of the options that moms have for returning to fitness?
Yeah, so I think a really good baseline routine to get into, especially like you said, once you've transitioned past a lot of that improved awareness of where the body's at, how it's moving, if things are healing the way that they're supposed to and recovering, returning back to kind of some more normalized levels, and you're more prepared for something more challenging. Don't be embarrassed to start out with body weight exercises. A lot of squats, push-ups, whether they're modified or the full deal. If you can start out the full deal after giving birth to a human, hey, you're a shero for sure. But no, being able to do push-ups or planks or anything of that nature. And again, depending on what happened during the pregnancy, during birth, sometimes you have to modify those positions. So like if there's a diastasis recti involved, then you've got to maybe alternate how the effect of gravity is going to affect, the position of those muscles and the exertion and focus that breath control. So really it comes down to trying to find a trusted healthcare professional that can steer you in the right direction, that understands the exercises that you're probably more interested in doing. Because here's probably the main thing, the best piece of advice trying to get back into fitness, find something that you would enjoy doing.
Yeah.
Don't see it as punishment. Don't see it as something that you have to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't want to work out every day, but it's stuff that I kind of enjoy doing, so I can talk myself into it every time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've had that conversation with several women who don't, they're like, but I don't want to lift weights. Go to aerobics, go to
Mhm.
Zumba, go to
Mhm.
salsa dancing. I
Yeah.
really don't care what you do.
Yeah.
The question is,
Pilates, yoga, whatever.
do you want to move?
Mhm.
Yes, great. What do
Mhm.
you like to do? There,
Mhm.
I know a lot of yogis that don't want to do anything else, or Pilates people who don't want to do anything else.
Mhm.
I know women who love dancing, and they're
Mhm.
like, it doesn't feel like exercise. Well, girlfriend, go out there and put your heels on and go dance. Because let me
Yeah.
tell you, you will burn a whole ton of calories doing some salsa, you
Mhm.
know, the same way you would be in the gym. So
Mhm.
find your thing, find whatever it is that you love to do,
Mhm.
because at least that way you know for a fact that you're going to do it.
Mhm. Yeah.
So,
Is it something that's getting your heart rate elevated? Are you getting warmer? Are you sweating? Are you
mhm.
finding yourself maybe a little sore after you do it for the first time back in a while? Are you seeing clothes fit differently? Are you feeling more confident? Are you feeling better about yourself? Yeah, that's exercise. I don't want to ruin the surprise, but that's exercise. So whatever that is for you, do that.
Hmm. And the thing about it, tell me about how you found or how you've dealt with clients that come to you. One of the big things in society today is the stigma on, you have to look like this.
Mhm.
I know for myself with my practice working with moms, I always tell them, listen, you're not in a race with anybody else. You're not competing with somebody else.
Mhm.
Your body needs time to heal. First and foremost, your body needs time to heal and to recover. You've had
Mhm.
9 months to go through this process. Let's go ahead and get you to heal and recover. And then let's talk about what other goals you may have at that point in time. But there's such a huge stigma that as soon as that baby is out, they have to look like, whatever supermodel who's probably never even had kids.
Right.
But
Yeah.
still, she's modeling on the cover. You need to look like that. Well, you're not
Mhm.
that person. She's never
Mhm.
had kids. I guarantee you. Those models are like between 18 and 22.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so like, what are tips that you have told moms, or what are things that you've encountered working in this population?
Yeah, so a lot of it has been trying to basically reframe the mindset of how we tend to, as humans, but especially as moms, tend to seek out our value or our aspirations in the form of what other people are doing.
Hmm.
And you're not running their race.
Yeah.
You're running your race. Just like they probably couldn't handle what you go through, you can't handle what they're going through. So stop trying to compare. You've got to find out what is going to be best for you, and if you doing maybe something that gets you back to, you know, maybe half of where you expected to be based on you looking at so and so other mom down the street, but you feel so much better about yourself. You feel like you've got more energy for yourself, for your job, for your family. You feel like clothes are fitting the way you want them to, or you're fitting into things that you haven't seen in so long. That's what's important. Don't get caught up in the body shape, the body type. Go off of the feel. If you are healthy, if you feel healthier, if you feel happier and more content with who you are, then that's what you need to focus on. And all the rest of it's just bonus stuff. Like exercise for your health and for your mental health, your emotional health. All the physical benefits are just going to be nice side effects that you find along the way.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, Talk to us a little bit about goal setting,
Mm,
in the realm of fitness, and kind of things that, realistic goals, setting realistic expectations, or just expectations in general,
mhm,
for moms or women in general, because a lot of women listening to this may not necessarily be new moms. Maybe their kids are a little bit older, but they're like, you know what? I really need to get back on the fitness wagon. I haven't worked out in a while, or I haven't been consistent, or I haven't worked out at all, but I'd like to try. So, what are some goals that are goal setting things that you would kind of impart to them?
yeah. So instead of maybe starting right out of the gate with a weight loss goal, start out with a frequency goal. And what I mean by that is say that, for the next 8 weeks, I'm going to exercise 4 days a week. and set that as your goal, because that's you doing something 4 days a week that you weren't doing before.
Mm-hmm.
And you're moving, and naturally your body is going to benefit from that, and your health is going to benefit from that. Then from there, I mean, even kind of along the way, set mini goals. So have a big one. So maybe your big goal is to lose 10 pounds, in the next 3 months or whatever, or before this big reunion that's coming up, or, whatever it is that we set our goals for. Set a big one, but then reverse engineer back, meaning work backwards and say, what has to happen along the way for me to get there?
Mm-hmm.
And one of those mini goals would be working out 4 days a week instead of doing nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Losing, if it has to be a weight loss goal, because sometimes, like even us as therapists, we've got to measure sometimes goofy numbers that don't matter in the big scheme of things, but just to show progress. The scale, 1 pound to 2 pounds per week. Don't expect to lose 5 pounds this week. If you are, you're probably doing something wrong, because as soon as you start to have a bad day, or maybe a bad couple days, or a bad week, because the kids are going crazy with, this one's sick, and then now that one's sick, and now we're all sick, and you just can't exercise or eat the way that you were before, because stuff's coming up from here, stuff's coming out of there. We can't take time to work out because we're just sick so bad. So don't get caught up on like those big gains, because you can reverse all that just as quickly as you lost it.
Yeah.
So stuff that's more healthy and more sustainable is that 1 to 2 pound per week weight loss, meaning that you're doing the right things in the right order. Because if it's taking you a little bit longer, but you're seeing still trends in the right direction, that's something you can sustain long term. Don't just do it for a short window. So once your goal is set and you reach that goal, don't think of it as you're being done.
Mm-hmm.
You need to see that as, okay, what's the next goal? How do I maintain this now? So I don't know maybe if I really answered the question well enough, but
Yep.
yeah, goals that are realistic, but then at the same time, not too overwhelming to where you just, because like me, I'll have a big goal, and then sometimes just trying to figure out what to do first step to set those wheels in motion could be really overwhelming. And so I'll drag my feet, and then it's been another week or a month since I've tried to think about getting started.
Mm-hmm. All right, I'm going to put you on a rapid fire.
Uh-oh.
I know, right? Inches versus like pounds on the scale.
Inches.
Yeah, absolutely. What was the other question I just had? Darn it. I was too excited about it. Too excited. I blame my memory on the kids.
Yeah, that's normal.
And then dietary changes versus lifestyle.
Lifestyle.
Absolutely. And I think, a lot of people, they tend to focus more, for instance, on the pounds and the scale versus, the inches. Or they tend to, because the other thing people don't remember is muscle weighs more than fat. So when you first start working out, you may not see any losses on the scale, and people get so disheartened. They're like, I'm working so hard, I'm doing all this, and I'm not losing any weight. So look at your inches, people. Look at the way, things like how clothes are fitting you. If you actually want to take a tape measure, then go for it. But sometimes, we got a guest. We got a guest. This is one of the things us moms has to deal with. Say hi, Eli.
Hi.
What's up, Eli?
This is my 3-year-old who just woke up from a nap. So these are some of the things that mommies will have to juggle. We got another one coming.
Celebrities.
You say hi.
Hi.
Okay,
Hey.
you go watch your TV. Go watch your show. So, but just to wrap up, we have all these things where, people tend to focus on things that sometimes they may not need to focus on. They focus on a specific diet, but they're not looking at the lifestyle changes that they should be looking at. Because you don't want this to just be a short-term thing. You want this to continue on. So that being said, Jason here has formed a wonderful community. Tell us a little bit about that.
All right. So I've started up a group, a community called Sheroes. And essentially it's just like, she handles it at home. She handles it at work. She handles herself. She's my Shero. And so that goes out to all the busy moms who are trying to do so much, just like a lot of people that you serve, and just like yourself, that are trying to do so much to be pulled so many different directions, but then still be able to find resources and have somebody available to help support them and encourage them. And that, look, you can do this also for yourself, because without that focus on you, you can't pour from an empty cup. So if you're not really giving yourself your best, then you're just giving your family and your work the rest. And they're not really getting the best of you if you're neglecting yourself. So it's Shiro's Fitness for Moms. It's one, if you want to, feel free, we can put a comment to the video with a link to the group if anybody wants to check it out. But it's just essentially a way to post some resources. It's a lot of support. It's a lot of motivation. It's a lot of just general education about how you can start to kind of take back your mindset to putting yourself first, and then giving you the tools to not just maybe get back into the shape or the state of mind of putting yourself in a healthier perspective, fitness and emotionally and things like that. But then how do you maintain that? Because we've all started things and failed, and just, it's an endless cycle. So let's break that cycle and let's figure out what's something that's going to work for you with your unique situation as a super mom, trying to juggle everything, and then make that happen long term, because you're going to set a great example for your family too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, if people watching this video wanted to get into contact with you, how would they do that?
Yeah, so feel free to reach out to me, either here on Facebook, Jason Wright. You can look me up, add me, send me a friend request, send me a message. I've got a professional page that I tend to post some content to as well. It's Dr. Jason Wright, physical therapist, facebook.com/WrightFitPT. Or like I said, follow me on Instagram, same thing. I'm Wright Fit Physio. So I'm the Wright Fit Physio also on Instagram. Whatever works best for you. Or if you just want to shoot me an email, we'll do it old fashioned style. You can do jason@wrightfitpt.com.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining me. As you can see, we can't predict. You see, he was sleeping. We can't always predict what's going to happen, and we juggle a lot as moms, but to have resources available, especially for fitness, especially as we go through life. I mean, it's priceless. The value is absolutely priceless. So thank you again for joining me. And guys, if you need any help, you have any questions, you guys know where to reach me, but also, now that you have Jason as a resource. So, contact him however you please, and check out the group Shiro's on Facebook, and we'll post a link for that. All right. Thank you so much, Jason.
No, thank you so much.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye.
Right.
You say bye-bye, Eli?
Bye.
Bye-bye.
See you later.